What if I told you, the real reason your erections have faded isn't your age, it's what's on your plate. Yes, every bite you take could be quietly stealing your manhood, and no one's talking about it. But we will, because here's the truth. Certain foods are destroying your blood flow, and without strong circulation, there is no erection. But here's the part that gives me hope, and should give you hope too. Many men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s have restored their confidence, energy, and vitality. Not with pills, not with procedures, but with something far more powerful: food. Because once you fix what's happening inside your arteries, you unlock what's been missing for years. Today, you'll discover 3 foods that naturally support testosterone, reignite circulation, and bring you back to life, not just in the bedroom, but in every part of your day. So stick with me to the very end, because the third food on this list, it's rarely talked about, but it may be the key to the best intimacy you've had in years. Let's begin with the foundation of every strong erection. And no, it's not testosterone. It's not desire. It's not even about arousal. It's blood flow. Pure and simple. You see, I've worked with thousands of men in their 60s and 70s who've come to me frustrated, wondering why their erections feel weaker, softer, or completely gone. And the very first thing I ask about isn't their hormones or their stress levels. It's their circulation. Because an erection is first and foremost a blood flow event. It's about whether your arteries can deliver blood quickly and in strong enough volume to your penis. And if they can't, it doesn't matter how much desire you have, your body simply won't respond. Now here's the part most men don't know. Healthy erections depend on healthy arteries, flexible, clear, and open blood vessels that can carry blood where it's needed, fast. But by the time many men reach their 60s, those blood vessels have taken a beating. Decades of processed foods, sugar stress, and inactivity quietly add up. Plaque builds up inside the arteries, narrowing them, stiffening them, and making it harder for blood to flow. At first, it's subtle. You may notice your erections aren't as firm. Then it becomes harder to stay hard. And eventually, it just stops happening altogether. And that's when the doubt creeps in. You start thinking maybe this is just what happens to older men. You blame aging. But the truth, it's not about age, it's about circulation. I'll tell you a quick story. One of my patients, a retired teacher, 67 years old, came into my office completely defeated. He told me, "Doc, I figured my sex life was just over. That's what happens when you get old, right?" But I looked at his habits, especially his diet, and I knew we could change the outcome. We didn't reach for pills or procedures. We went back to basics. And once he started eating foods that supported healthy blood flow, everything changed. Within weeks, his morning erections returned, his energy improved, and more than anything, his confidence came back. That's what happens when you fix circulation. You don't just improve your sex life, you breathe life back into your entire body. Now here's the good news. You don't need a prescription to start improving blood flow. You can do it naturally through what you eat, because the foods you choose every day can either clog your arteries or clean them. They can either restrict blood flow or set it free. And in just a moment, I'm going to show you the first food that can help restore your circulation and even support your testosterone at the same time. But first, remember this. If your erections have changed, if your energy has faded, it's not just aging. Your arteries may be whispering for help. And now you finally know how to listen. Ready to discover the first food that can restore your blood flow and reignite your drive. Let's talk about something that's often misunderstood in men's health: testosterone. It's not just a sex hormone, it's your power source. It fuels your energy, sharpens your focus, strengthens your muscles, and keeps your mood steady. And yes, it absolutely plays a key role in your performance in the bedroom. But here's the problem. After the age of 30, your testosterone levels begin to decline, slowly, quietly, and relentlessly. By the time most men hit their 60s, they've lost up to 50% or more of their natural testosterone. And with it goes the drive, the confidence, the clarity. But here's the good news. You can support your testosterone naturally, and it starts with what's on your plate. Now, I know you've probably heard all kinds of advice about meat. Some experts say to avoid red meat completely, but that's not the full story, because not all meat is created equal. Let me introduce you to something called grass-fed beef. Unlike conventional beef, which comes from cows raised on grain soy and other inflammatory feed, grass-fed beef is exactly what it sounds like: meat from cows that graze on natural grasses, just like nature intended. Why does that matter? Because what the animal eats becomes part of you. Grass-fed beef is loaded with key nutrients that help support your body's testosterone production. It's rich in zinc, one of the most important minerals for male hormones. It also contains vitamin B12, which boosts energy and brain health. And even more importantly, it's high in healthy fats, the kind your body uses as raw material to build testosterone. One of the most overlooked things I tell my older male patients is this: your body can't make testosterone out of thin air. It needs cholesterol, the good kind, as a building block. And that's where grass-fed beef shines. It provides a clean, natural source of dietary cholesterol, along with omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation and support heart health. But wait, isn't cholesterol bad for you? Not necessarily. It's all about balance. In fact, multiple studies have shown that men with low cholesterol may actually have lower testosterone levels. So if your doctor has told you to fear all cholesterol, it might be time to dig a little deeper. Now here's the key. You don't need to eat a massive steak every day. A few servings of grass-fed beef each week, prepared simply not fried or drenched in sauces, can go a long way in supporting your energy, muscle tone, and libido. One of my patients, let's call him Robert, was in his early 70s. He'd been feeling sluggish, unmotivated, and frankly invisible. He told me, "I just don't feel like a man anymore." So we looked at his diet. And surprised, he'd been avoiding all red meat for years, thinking it was the healthy thing to do. When we reintroduced small portions of grass-fed beef into his weekly meals, along with other natural testosterone boosters, the change was almost immediate. Within 2 weeks, he was sleeping better. His strength returned. And for the first time in years, he felt like himself again. Food isn't just fuel, it's information. And when you give your body the right signals like those in grass-fed beef, it responds with strength, clarity, and vitality. Are you ready to discover the next food that can supercharge your circulation and performance? Let's talk about one of the most overlooked yet powerful foods you can eat, especially if you're over 60 and want to improve your circulation, energy, and performance. I'm talking about beets. Now I know what you might be thinking. Beets, really? Yes, really. These humble, earthy vegetables hold a secret that could be a game changer for your health. Beets are packed with something called nitrates, not the synthetic kind found in processed meats, but the natural kind that your body loves. When you eat beets, your body converts these nitrates into nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is like a magic molecule for your blood vessels. It helps them relax, open up, and allow blood to flow more freely. Better circulation means more oxygen, and nutrients are delivered throughout your body, including to your heart, your brain, and yes, your most intimate areas. And when blood flow improves, everything improves. Your energy, your stamina, your memory, your mood, even your ability to sleep through the night. Now here's what makes this even more important. As we age, our natural production of nitric oxide decreases. That's one reason why so many seniors experience fatigue, brain fog, and blood pressure issues. But nature gave us a solution, and it grows right in the ground. Studies have shown that drinking beet juice or eating cooked beets can significantly boost nitric oxide levels. In fact, one study found that older adults who drank beetroot juice daily had better blood flow to their brains and performed better on cognitive tasks. But this isn't just about thinking more clearly. This is also about living more fully. Let me tell you about one of my patients. His name was Harold. He was 67, and he came to me complaining of low energy and difficulty performing in the bedroom. He said, "I just feel like my body's slowing down, and I don't know what to do." So we ran some tests, and his cardiovascular function was borderline. Instead of jumping straight to medications, I suggested he add 1 glass of beet juice to his routine 5 times a week. 3 weeks later, he called me. His exact words, "I feel like someone flipped the switch back on." He had more energy during the day. His wife noticed a difference in the evenings, and his blood pressure, it was down. Naturally, that's the power of nitric oxide, and that's what beets can do for you. Now, before you run to the grocery store, here are a few tips. If you're buying fresh beets, roast them or boil them until tender. Slice them into salads or blend them into smoothies. Prefer something quicker. Beet juice works too, just make sure it's 100% pure and low in added sugars. And if the taste of beets isn't your thing, there are even beet powder supplements you can mix into water or smoothies. Just check the label and look for one that lists high nitrate content. You don't need to overdo it. Even small amounts just a few times a week can make a big difference in how you feel and function. So if you want better circulation, sharper thinking, and stronger vitality, don't overlook this vibrant purple gift from nature. Let's talk about something that feels like a guilty pleasure, but might actually be one of the smartest choices you can make for your health. I'm talking about dark chocolate. Yes, chocolate. But before you reach for a candy bar, let's be clear. We're not talking about sugar-loaded milk chocolate or chocolate desserts filled with cream and chemicals. We're talking about pure dark chocolate rich in cocoa and powerful compounds that your body craves. You see, dark chocolate contains flavonoids, natural plant compounds that do wonders inside your body. These flavonoids help relax blood vessels, improve circulation, lower blood pressure, and even protect your brain from age-related decline. Let that sink in for a moment. Something as delicious as dark chocolate can actually help you think clearer, feel sharper, and keep your heart working better. In fact, one large study found that people who ate dark chocolate a few times per week had a significantly lower risk of heart disease. Another study showed that consuming it regularly improved memory and cognitive performance, especially in older adults. Now, here's where it gets even better. Dark chocolate can also support your mood. It stimulates the brain to release endorphins and serotonin, those feel-good chemicals that help lift depression and calm anxiety. So if you've ever felt happier after a piece of chocolate that's not your imagination, that's biology. But remember, not all chocolate is created equal. If you want to reap the benefits, go for dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa. The higher the percentage, the more antioxidants and less sugar it contains. And keep it moderate. You don't need a whole bar. Just a small square, about an ounce, is enough to give your body the benefits without overloading on calories. Now, some people ask me, but what about the caffeine in chocolate? Great question. Yes, dark chocolate contains a small amount of caffeine, but it's usually not enough to disrupt your sleep unless you're extremely sensitive. If you're unsure, enjoy your chocolate earlier in the day. And if you're watching your blood sugar or dealing with diabetes, look for dark chocolate brands that are low in added sugar or even sweetened with natural alternatives like stevia or monk fruit. There's even some research suggesting that dark chocolate can improve insulin sensitivity, helping your body manage blood sugar more efficiently over time. It's one of those rare foods that checks almost every box. Delicious, comforting, and deeply beneficial, especially for older adults. I had a patient, Maria, who was 74, and told me she missed having treats in her day. She felt like she had to give up everything she loved just to stay healthy. So I recommended one piece of dark chocolate with her afternoon tea every day. A month later, she told me, "Doctor, that little square is the highlight of my day. I look forward to it. I savor it. And I feel good knowing it's helping me." That's what real health looks like. It's not about deprivation. It's about making smarter swaps, enjoying foods that nourish your body and your spirit. So if you've been craving a little indulgence, go ahead and reach for that square of dark chocolate. Your heart, your brain, and even your happiness will thank you. Let me introduce you to one of the most underrated natural remedies hiding in your local produce section: tart cherries. These little red gems are more than just a summer snack. They hold incredible power, especially for older adults, and they could be the missing piece in your journey toward better sleep, less pain, and a healthier heart. Let's start with sleep. As we age, getting quality rest becomes harder. Melatonin levels drop. Sleep becomes fragmented. And those precious deep sleep cycles, the kind your body needs for recovery, become fewer and shorter. Tart cherries are one of the very few natural foods that contain melatonin, the hormone your brain uses to regulate your sleep-wake cycle. Drinking tart cherry juice or eating dried tart cherries about an hour before bed has been shown in studies to increase total sleep time and improve sleep quality in older adults. It's gentle, it's natural, and unlike sleeping pills, it won't leave you groggy or dependent. Now let's talk about inflammation. If you struggle with joint pain, muscle soreness, or arthritis, tart cherries could offer real relief. They're packed with anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that help reduce inflammation throughout the body. Research shows that regular consumption of tart cherry juice can lower markers of inflammation, ease joint stiffness, and even reduce the frequency and intensity of gout attacks. Imagine waking up with less pain, feeling more mobile, more free, like your body isn't fighting you every time you move. That's what some of my patients have experienced after just a couple weeks of adding tart cherries into their routine. And if that weren't enough, tart cherries also support heart health. They help reduce blood pressure, improve cholesterol balance, and decrease oxidative stress that damages arteries over time. One study even showed that people who drank tart cherry juice daily saw a significant drop in systolic blood pressure, comparable to what you'd expect from a low-dose medication. And here's something you might not expect: tart cherries can also help with post-exercise recovery. That means whether you've gone for a walk, done some light stretching, or just completed a day of errands, your muscles bounce back quicker and hurt less the next day. The best way to consume them: unsweetened tart cherry juice is the most concentrated form. Look for brands with no added sugars. You can also enjoy frozen tart cherries in smoothies or eat a small handful of dried ones, but watch the portion size and sugar content. A good starting point is about 8 ounces of juice, or a quarter cup of dried tart cherries per day. And remember, consistency is key. The benefits build over time. This isn't a magic trick. It's a quiet shift that supports your body in the background day after day. And that's the beauty of all the foods we've talked about. They're not fads. They're not risky. They're gifts from nature, simple, effective, and time-tested. So the next time you see a bag of tart cherries, don't walk past. Reach for it. Because sometimes the smallest fruits make the biggest difference. You've made it to the end, and that tells me something important. You care about your health. You're curious, and you're ready to take charge of your well-being one choice at a time. The foods we've shared today may seem simple, but together they hold the power to transform how you feel, how you sleep, how you move, how you live each day after 60. And that's what this channel is all about. We're not here for fads or fear. We're here to help you thrive with clarity, energy, and confidence in every stage of life. So if this spoke to you, if even one tip made you pause and think I can do that, then I invite you to do two things. First, tap that subscribe button, because every week we bring you real, practical, science-backed advice made just for you, not the 20-year-olds. You. And second, leave a comment below. Tell us which of these foods you already eat, or which one you're excited to try first. Your experience might just inspire someone else who's reading. Remember, it's never too late to feel better. And sometimes, the smallest step forward can lead to the biggest change. We'll see you in the next one. Stay strong, stay curious, and stay well.